Trust Once Lost, Chapter 38, Cruelty. Applejack was left reeling. She had expected crying, or freezing up, or running away, but what she didn't expect was a lecture on bullies from a filly half her age. Either the girl was incredibly quick-witted, or she'd had this conversation before multiple times. How many ponies had she poured her heart out to only be shut down and ignored? The calming tea Fluttershy had given her didn't seem to be working. Green had given up holding her cup when she'd begun shaking with rage.
What happened to you was wrong.
Applejack consoled.
But that don't mean you should rush to judge new ponies. I'm not saying you have to trust Spoiled, but we should at least give her a chance to explain herself. Sometimes, all it takes for a pony to change is to be told how much their behavior has hurt some pony else.
Green groaned in frustration.
She already knows!
The filly insisted.
That's why she did it! Bullies aren't like other ponies. They feel the need to exert power over others to prove their self-worth. They enjoy it. It makes them feel good for a while. But no matter how much power they gain, no matter how many ponies they hurt, they will never be satisfied. Sounds like those ponies aren't very happy. Being unhappy is no excuse for hurting other ponies,
she said.
If I hurt some pony, even by accident, I would feel terrible. Any decent pony would. A selfish pony might not care about others' feelings, but bullies are worse. When they hurt some pony, they feel good.
Dayglow had told Applejack that fillies Green's age might have trouble understanding that ponies could have more than one motivation for their actions.
Can't you think of any other reason why a pony might say something hurtful?
Asked Applejack.
Granny once told me that there's more fools in this world than there are villains.
Green rolled her eyes.
Is Spoiled unable to read social cues? Oblivious to body language? Incapable of understanding how her words might affect other ponies?
Green asked, without giving Applejack a chance to answer.
Of course not! Some pony with that type of disability wouldn't rise to the top of a social hierarchy like a school board. She knew damn well what she was doing, and she chose her words deliberately to attack Pip's insecurities by calling him a runt. She is a bully.
A blast of hot air vented from Green's nose as she stood up on the couch, the blanket falling from her flank. Applejack almost groaned in frustration. Why couldn't she convince Green that Equestria wasn't some nightmare where any cruelty had to be either silently endured or brutally erased? If she gave up arguing, would she be teaching Green that compromise was possible? Or just confirming that her worldview was sound? And if she continued to push, would Green be left feeling that no pony would ever take her side?
I'm so sorry, Sweet Pea.
Applejack sighed.
I wanted to help you feel better, but I'm just making it worse. I'm a terrible foster parent.
Green stopped breathing for a moment, as her whole demeanor changed.
No!
Green said.
No, you're really good! Please don't feel bad because of me.
The pivot from furious lecturing to panicked pleading seemed to come out of nowhere. Green was breathing faster. Her pupils were expanding. Applejack knew what to do. Well, at least in theory.
Oh, Sweet Pea, I'm right here,
said Applejack.
I'm not going anywhere. You're safe, and this'll pass. Just do your breathing exercises, and I'll still be here when you're done. I'm sorry.
Green sobbed.
I'm sorry. Please don't stop talking to me. I shouldn't have been so aggressive. I didn't mean to make you feel bad. Please don't hate me.
Applejack felt a pang of sympathy, but at the same time a slow-burning anger for the ponies that made Green this way. The farm pony could remember a time when she'd given Applebloom the silent treatment. She couldn't remember why. No doubt, some trivial thing, but she could remember the tears that had followed as her much younger sister convinced herself over the next half hour that she would be ignored forever. As Dayglow had explained it, ponies used to live in herds, and being abandoned by her herd was a matter of life and death. Being ignored by the ponies they depended on triggered the most deeply rooted fear that every foal had. That they would be abandoned.
I won't abandon you, and I'm not gonna stop talking to you.
Applejack hugged the filly closer.
We can stay right here and talk about whatever you like. I'm sorry,
Green repeated.
I know I'm being stupid. I...
Green trailed off. It seemed like she'd finally run out of things to say.
I don't think you're stupid.
Said Applejack.
You had a problem that was too big for you to carry on your own, and you're asking for help. That's a very mature thing to be doing. That's not what I mean.
Said Green.
I said all those things about bullies, and I talked over you, and now you probably think I'm crazy.
Applejack struggled to think of what to say.
I don't think you're crazy neither,
She said. Green had opened up to her in a new way, finally talking about how she had been hurt. So why did Applejack feel like she'd done something wrong? The situation was backwards. All those days I'd spent laying on the couch with Mom, holding her hand while she went through another panic attack. Now I was the one being comforted. I was so weak. Instead of sharing my strength with others, I was sapping theirs. There were probably so many other things Applejack would rather be doing, but I was clinging to her, holding her back because I was terrified that when I let her go, she'd finally realize I was a waste of her time, because I'd never get better. I felt nauseated as I realized what I was doing, and I shuddered, pulling away from AJ and rolling off the couch. She should give up on me. That way, I could finally stop hurting her.
I'm going to go lie down.
I spoke without looking at Applejack. I climbed the stairs to my bedroom and shut the door. Applejack could have gone to see Dayglow, but getting an appointment again so soon didn't seem likely. Fluttershy was actually still in the house after meeting Applejack for tea, but she'd suggested it would be best if Applejack spoke with Green by herself.
How'd it go?
Asked Fluttershy.
I mean, if you don't mind talking about it. It weren't quite what I expected.
Said Applejack.
She's... I don't even know. She has an answer for everything, but it's making her miserable. Oh dear. She told me more than she has before, but she's still holding back.
Said Applejack.
In this whole spoiled situation, if she really did say those things to Pipsqueak, something needs to be said. But Green seems to think spoiled is one step away from Sombra. What did she say?
Asked Fluttershy.
Green says she called Pipsqueak a runt and refused to fix the broken playground.
Fluttershy visibly tensed at the word runt.
How could she say that? It's horrible.
Applejack agreed.
But Green, well, she thinks Spoiled will come after her too. Come after her? She thinks Spoiled is gonna get her taken away unless we destroy her first. How would she...
Fluttershy began.
Oh, the poor thing. She must be so frightened. What can I do?
Asked Applejack.
I'm sorry to ask, but you were bullied, right? How'd you move past it?
Fluttershy took a breath and exhaled deeply, not meeting Applejack's eyes.
I didn't.
Fluttershy's shoulders slumped.
Not until... well, having friends like you girls has helped, but I'm not sure I'll ever be over it completely. Oh, I'm so sorry, Flutters.
Said Applejack.
I didn't think. No, it's okay.
Said Fluttershy.
I just... I'm not the right pony to ask. I moved into that cabin in Ponyville as soon as I could and hardly even spoke to other ponies for years. Well, except for Rainbow. I feel guilty sometimes that she moved to Ponyville to watch over me. But she's a loyal friend over anything else.
Applejack remembered what Fluttershy had told her at Green's party, about how bad the anxiety got, to the point where Rainbow was bringing her food because she would hardly get out of bed. A lump had formed in Applejack's throat.
So, Green then. She's gonna...
Applejack aborted the sentence.
Going to end up like me?
Fluttershy asked.
I didn't say that.
Applejack countered.
It's just... I don't want her to have to go through all that. I hope not.
Said Fluttershy.
It sounds like she's still ready to stand up for herself, at least a little. So, what would you do if you were looking after Green?
Applejack asked.
I couldn't.
Said Fluttershy.
I'd ruin her. I'd keep her safe and we'd stay home drinking tea and helping animals. And I'd never force her to do anything she found scary, and, well, she'd end up just like me.
Applejack didn't know what to say, so she embraced Fluttershy in a hug. Applejack found Twilight in her crystal library, and after a short explanation, found herself sitting with Twilight in one of the castle's many sitting rooms. Green may want to go straight to Luna with her problems, but Applejack knew a princess who was closer by, and who could hopefully deal with the situation with less overkill.
Twilight, what do you know about bullies?
Applejack asked.
Oh no.
Said Twilight.
Is Green being bullied at school? Well, yes, but that's not really what this is about.
Said Applejack.
I was having a talk with Green, and it sounds like she had a really bad experience with bullies. And now, well, frankly, I don't know how to talk to her about it. She read some books or something, and now she's got herself convinced that bullies are irredeemable. And I can't talk her out of it.
Twilight's ears drooped.
Oh, that's, well, if she was coming to you with it then, I'm not sure that's what she was asking for. What do you mean?
Asked Applejack.
I'm not a parent.
Said Twilight.
Obviously. But I have read some books about it. Even if it's just as a friendship thing, if a friend is telling you how mean some pony was to them, they probably don't want to be told that they're overreacting. No, I wasn't.
Applejack began before sighing.
Oh, shoot. I keep putting my hoof in it, don't I? You're doing your best.
Twilight assured.
And I'm sure Green won't be angry with you forever. She's not angry with me.
Applejack said.
But I gave her a panic attack twice. I thought I could help her feel better by getting her to open up about her past, but I don't know what I'm doing. It's not your fault.
Said Twilight.
You didn't make her this way. Speaking of which,
Said Applejack.
we need to talk about some pony Green is pegged as a bully. Spoiled rich.
I was laying on top of my bed covers staring at the wall when I heard a knock at my bedroom door. I sighed and turned over. To my surprise, the pony I saw was Fluttershy. My first time seeing her outside of the dream realm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Said Fluttershy.
I didn't mean to bother you. I just thought you might like some food, if that's alright. No!
I said quickly.
I mean, yes, I mean, sorry. Would you like a hug?
Asked Fluttershy. My throat was closing up, so I just nodded. With my eyes squeezed shut to fight back tears, I felt the bed move as Fluttershy sat down on the bed and draped a wing over me.
Do you want to talk about it?
She asked.
About what?
I asked.
Your bullying.
She replied.
Applejack told you?
I asked. Fluttershy nodded.
I just thought, I mean, if you don't mind, well, I was bullied too when I was the filly, so...
I took a breath and tried to collect my thoughts.
Did you ever forgive them?
I asked.
Forgive them? For what they did to you?
I said. Fluttershy froze up and I had my answer. My ears flattened against my head.
Oh.
I said.
I was hoping you could tell me how.
Fluttershy hugged me tighter. My first therapist back in grade school told me that holding onto a grudge was like drinking poison, expecting your enemy to die. The best way to spite your enemies, she said, was to live well. Or it's so easy. If the elements of kindness couldn't forgive her childhood bullies, then what hope did I have? That is very true. Holding a grudge sucks ass. It's not easy to let go of it, but once you do, it feels so much better. Anywho, let's get on to our caring donators. Top donators: Jessie Smith, Star 630, BadassWaffle, Only One Thing, Ceru, Orion, and IronSky. Mitch McConnell, JockeTF, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel, Sky, Sauce, and Rollin, Sharper Than More, Trinamic, Live, Ruben, 79852, Will, Chris, Twinkie, Rice, Shadow Moon, Luigi 88, Chancellor Crest, Big Smoke, Day 69, Bug, Jeff, Murder Princess, J1102, Calidus, Little Mighty, and many more fantastic people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.